country.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Darkness in Dublin, a Meiji Ascension venue. This evening we have Theodus and Darcy. As Theodus has obliged Darcy with a minor visit with some flu meds. Coming a bit out of his comfort zone. I wouldn't necessarily call him antisocial, but he isn't the most social of characters. He's generally fairly distant and aloof. But he also feels rather bad about the whole situation Darcy's found herself in. You know, kind of almost dying from sickness and having a part of herself ripped out by an ancient demon isn't really the most pleasant of experiences. So, he has texted her, see if he could visit and what time would be good, and just, have a chat.
Yeah. He will be invited into the chantry of the tree. Me and names, it's terrible. Um, which is where Darcy is like living, sort of. And yeah, like at the given time when he enters through, ringing the bell, if that's a thing. I really need to get more info on this chantry though. Uh,
He just he
Darcy
just
will.
tap he just taps it and applies a bit of forces as he taps it to make it sound like just to make it sound more like a doorbell.
Very Meiji.
He it's just like he just taps it, but the knock is unusually loud. He
Bang
just
bang.
enhanced the sound waves.
Oh, that like Darcy cringes as she hears that because oh my god, that hurts her head. She'll make her way to yeah, get him inside the chantry in whatever way that is. And we'll like Theodis will see a Darcy with uh a red nose, red eyes, otherwise pretty pale, um, wearing pajamas and the cutest, like, I don't know, like sort of bunny slippers thing ever. Um, Also wearing two blankets, still sort of shivering as she opens the door.
Ah, you look like that one vampire I met once, except in pajamas.
Uh, a vampire? I don't know about that. Please.
I've met a few of those at this point.
Oh, okay. I've never met a vampire, I believe.
Oh, it's better that you don't. They're all assholes for the most part.
Actually, I did meet one at a graveyard, and they really liked my blood. You want to come in?
Shh. Probably better for you and me that I do.
Yeah, please go in.
Complementary medicine. You'll hand you some flu medication.
Thank you.
And some malwebs.
Oh, yeah, Darcy will accept both.
Darcy
And
seems like the sort of person who'd like malwebs. This is
she'll
canon now.
this is kind of now. Oh god. Yeah, she'll lead him into like a living room. Everything in the chantry is really spacious and say luxurious. And yeah, Darcy kind of curls up on the couch again, pulls another blanket on top of her, and will gesture for Theodis to sit down. You want something to drink?
Do you need something to drink?
I'm fine. I have a bottle of water here, but I can I can ask for tea if you like.
No, it's quite alright.
Or
But I appreciate it.
something else. Uh there's a lot of drinks in this house, really.
Have you had any visitors recently, or am I the first?
No, Lonnie and Minnie kind of dropped by just now. They left to go and do stuff. And, yeah.
I hope they didn't yell too much. Lottie seems like the yelling type.
She was not yelling. Well, she was yelling at first, but she also was hugging, and I'm glad that she's more happy now.
Oh, that's good, yes. Minus your situation, which is attached to what happened prior, but also not. Everything worked out really well, and now we're just going to clean up. And he just kind of gestures towards you with his hands kind of rotating and circling. This hot mess, and well, everything will return to how it used to be. And we should be good. Thumbs up.
Uh, it's really sweet of you to want to help me, but it's sort of all my fault, so it's okay. It's
Well, helping, well, even if I didn't want to help, because your situation is kind of, well, a horrible, how to say. I consider the situation you're currently in to be an immense violation upon your person and soul, so I feel somewhat obligated to help, even though I usually am not. That and helping you also is kind of part of what we're going to do anyway, because we have to bind Asmodeus one way or the other.
can you do that?
We're going to find out.
If if I could help, just let me
I
know.
I think I think he wants to. Were you told about your book?
Oh, was I thought about my book?
The book that you pissed off and asked you to throw away.
Well, I know I did a stupid thing, but I really didn't want to be bothered that night, and I felt just.
Oh no, I just mentioned it because the whole reason this was able to happen at all was because Asmodeus has it now somehow.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't really get it though. I don't.
But he's
I don't
basically
think he's
controlling
like
your fate.
devil.
I think he wants you to release Faust, and he's going to use the book to get you to do that somehow. But I mean, we'll have dealt with it either up to that point or before it. So,
Faust?
did it was a demon before your time and at the end of mine,
Oh,
or at the start of mine rather, not the end of mine. I don't know too much about it other than that he's a really bad guy and is probably the Faustian devil, the one who did the whole thing. Well, no, he's called Faust. The human is called Faust. The demon was called Mephistophos. Theodus can say it correctly because he can speak the languages. He can speak many languages. I'm actually going to look up the name. Mephistopheles? That's not right. Mes- uh, Mephistopheles. Yeah, Mephistopheles. That's the correct name. I'm getting it right. Okay. Yes. Okay. The classic I grant your wish, but it's a monkey's paw and everything turns out bad.
uh,
Also, the legend goes the 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 highly Renaissance era legend.
uh,
Anywho,
I
I hope
don't know so much about history. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can teach you.
Oh, okay. Well, I need to actually return the key to the library at some point because I'm sure Siren will want it back. So perhaps we could make it like a date, not a date, because I know you would want to date someone like me. A study date, I suppose, in the library.
I mean, I won't say I've been in that many relationships, but I've been in a few. I'm not that antisocial.
I mean, still, I mean, I'm sure you could find someone better.
I mean, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to. No, I just didn't mean to say that we would be dating, even though it would not be bad or anything, or
It's
good or
okay.
anything. Yeah,
He'll pat you.
yeah. She's very warm, but other than that,
Well, you're pretty sprightly for someone so sick.
pretty what?
You're pretty sprightly for someone so sick. I would have offered to heal you, but I'm pretty terrible at life magic, as it turns out.
That's, that's
Very
fine.
good at blowing things up, but not really good at putting it back to. Well, actually, that's not true. Not good at putting people back together. Very bad at that.
I I could probably do it myself, but right now I just don't kind of feel like I have the energy to really do much like anything. So I'll just wait it out.
I'm maybe you could. That actually makes me curious. If you're trying to build up antibodies, would it be in your interest to heal yourself? Or would perhaps there is a way for you to simply speed up the process without hindering the progress of your own immune system? That is something I have to consider. Maybe I'll have to make a life spell that accounts for that. When I can actually do that and am not awful at life magic. I am pretty detached from life magic and the spiritual world. I should really get a handle on that. Sorry, I'm talking about myself.
That's fine. You can talk about yourself.
But
So you're good at blowing things up, you said?
blowing things up, utilizing quintessential magics, i.e., Prime, very good at that. Almost killed an Infernalist Tremere with it. That was something. And also very good at working with time.
I could do time as well.
Hmm. Actually, how good are you at time? I'm curious.
Uh, I could look back. I could look forth.
Hmm.
I don't know. Uh, I don't really know
So
much.
you've gotten to the point where you can look through time but can't necessarily directly manipulate it.
I think I might be able to directly manipulate it. I never really tried it though.
That's true. It's usually considered a bad idea. I'm at a point where I can go back and forth a few minutes. I'm actually considering creating some sort of temporal lock talisman so I can keep people in place, prevent them from using their own time powers. One of these vampires possesses the ability to move extremely quickly, and I'm trying to find a way to put a dampener on that.
Oh. Uh, could you
I've
do?
got something to destroy his body with. I just need something to stop him from teleporting all over the place, moving very quickly, and we need to find a way to destroy his soul before he destroys the planet. But
I mean,
it's Tuesday.
maybe not try and do it with time. Have you thought about just slowing down like correspondence around, like make him teleport to a place you desire with
Well,
correspondence? bonus when he pulls like you pull?
Maybe I am not but an amateur in correspondence, I'm afraid, so I'm not at that level yet, but I will be. I'm currently trying to master more of the entropic sphere. I wish to utilize it in tandem with my own past and future sight to be able to look through multiple possibilities.
I mean, if you if you change correspondence and maybe I don't know, is a vampire would that count on life or on matter?
I don't know. I've never really tried, but I know I can hurt it. I struck it with a prime blast, and it, well, got blew up a good portion of its body. So it's vulnerable to that sort of damage, although it withstood a good deal of it. Although I don't think it will be withstanding when I throw it at it next. He actually holds out his hand, and you can see he's painted um, an Enochian sigil on it.
Which means Darcy will recognize maybe a little bit about it, but that's about it. She's not really versed in Nokian.
Probably Enochian symbol for destroy or unmake. Um, it's he's basically used matter magic to imbibe the makeshift tattoo with magical power.
Nice.
Mm.
I mean, if you need help, I don't mind trying to help you if you really want to.
Well, to be honest, we could always use more hands on deck, and a lot of what it summons, frankly, terrifies me. Something that is intimately frustrating.
Uh, and I think technically with life and correspondence, you could get him to not teleport away,
Well,
as you say.
I want to prevent it from teleporting. That's what I want to do. I want to have an item on hand to prevent it from teleporting because I know that as long as it can't teleport or flee, it can be destroyed. Although we will need to create spirit shields for ourselves, it can seemingly manipulate one's soul or simply temporarily remove it from the body, turning one's body into a controllable husk.
Oh,
It's
that sounds
strangely
bad.
nephandic. It unsettles me.
I can imagine. Well, if you want me to look into ways to stop someone from teleporting away, I could try that if you like.
Mm,
Once I'm feeling better, that is.
I'd appreciate your assistance, but take your time.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be
Maybe,
better tomorrow.
maybe you could use life magic to empower your own immune system.
I probably could.
I speak as a complete
Uh,
no name in regards to this particular art, but still,
I get it. I'll think about it, but
I don't like to see people in general as pale and indoors as myself. That's sort of my niche, and you're taking it away from me.
sorry. I mean, if I'm taking away your thing now, I'll find a way that you can take away my thing if you like.
Oh, I just don't worry about it.
Sounded
Um,
bad again, isn't it?
if if I can ask, actually, you said you had a library key.
Yeah, Simon gave it to me in his will. Said I would be the new keeper of the library. But now that he's back, I'm sure he wants his key back.
Hmm, that's an ecstatic issue. I suppose I couldn't really comment on that. Don't really know how your line of succession works, and this is a rather odd situation. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
rewriting time, fate, and life aside, because is true love not an incredible, beautiful, and wonderful thing? Uh, I remember earlier on, a few years ago, Master Siren said I'd be quite welcome to peruse his library. Is that something that is still on the table?
As far as I know, it would be. Who am I
I
to go against his wishes?
well, I don't really know how open ecstatics are about their knowledge and whether Master Siren is an exception or not.
I know that Siren lets basically everybody kind of read the library. Just be careful, very careful about the forbidden, like the restricted area, forbidden section thing. Like that's where the dangerous books are.
Well, I may need to do some reading on some dangerous things if we're to combat these threats.
Yeah, I get that.
But of course not without the librarian's permission.
I mean, I'm not quite sure if it's up to me now to give you that permission, but as far as I'm concerned, you can have it. As
Well,
long as you.
Lady Darcy, he just starts patting you.
Uh,
Stop putting yourself down.
I mean, I'm not.
No. Remember, if
Uh,
you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And that includes oneself.
uh,
Of course, you can always say nice things about me. I'm sure you have plenty of nice things to say about me.
you're nice.
I, on occasion, make the attempt.
Attempt succeeded. It's nice to. Never mind. I was gonna sound wrong again.
I'm not going to be offended.
I was gonna say that it's nice that you're so nice, and then I don't know. I lost my train of thoughts, I guess.
It's okay. You're hardly in a position to be driving after all.
No, that would be a bad thing, but luckily, usually I have chauffeurs. You know, like uh, that I have
I could
very
really.
high. Uh,
That must be nice. I could really use chauffeurs at some point.
they're actually my dad's.
I could really use your dad's chauffeurs, I suppose.
I If you need to be driven somewhere, sort of let me know and I can see what I can find. Like, unless it's the limo, like, you need to sort of, like, it could be taken by some of the other guests. So, if you want the limo, you need to tell me in advance so I can, you know, arrange it. But other than that, it's usually there's a car ready, sort of, you know.
That's very nice of you, thank you. Yes, everything is, well, it is Dublin, it is chaos. It's not really to my liking, particularly since my entire tradition has the word order in its name.
Yeah.
I didn't know you'd already. Were you ever an apprentice? Considering you're a librarian.
I'm supposed to be Cyrus' apprentice.
Oh, well, that's good.
I can't imagine he would still want to have me after. Because,
No,
I mean, I don't know.
The cane. This he holds up his cane. This is for walking, not bopping you over the head with.
That would probably hurt a lot right now.
It probably would.
I probably deserve it, but I would really like to not hurt more.
Then try to feel a bit better about yourself, because otherwise it's going to. He shakes the cane like he's shaking his fist, like you got darn kids get off my lawn, sort of shake. Um, yes, must say I'm quite jealous about your appointment. One, I love libraries, and two, D'Onofrio's master is quite visceral, a bit too visceral for a man who can barely keep up with walking pace.
She is. She's very good with what she does, and she's really great uh,
Apparently,
in bed.
what?
Nothing. Never mind.
Hmm. If you say so. To both comments. And I'll say this:
Oh,
she's very good at throwing me halfway across the city.
she's never done that to me.
She likes throwing a lot of explosive material conjured from nowhere in a very small space.
She almost got killed when I was in the Green Dragon time before last, I think. Or time before last. If I had, like, hugged her, she would have probably died. I can't do that now. So, just tell her to be careful, please.
As much as we, well, snark on each other, I'll tell her to be more careful. And besides, I think in a good few months or so, you'll be able to do that again. It's going to be tricky, though. There is a lot to be doing. For the record, he hasn't really seemed particularly phased, apart from the one time where he talked about the things the Tremere Infernalist summons. That seemed to phase him a bit. He didn't seem to like that. When he said that was terrifying, he didn't, and that's really frustrating. He was very honest on both those accounts. He,
Aww.
but other than that, he doesn't seem phased by Aisha himself or by or by your particular issue. He seems quite confident both can be dealt with.
I
Basically,
hope so.
oh, go ahead.
No, she just said, I hope so, and that's it.
Oh. Hmm, the plans. We'll have to get the book back somehow. But I don't know what demons can really do. Can they do the thing that we can do when we try and teleport something towards us? Can they do that? Or apparently vampires can do that.
I don't know. I, I don't know anything about it yet. I wanted to go and study, but I couldn't because I was kind of upset that Siren died, and then when I was hoping that I could get study, I got this.
Well, when you're better, I'll come to study with you. It is actually something I quite enjoy.
Okay, maybe you could be. I don't really like books, in all honesty, but I feel I need to learn right now.
A librarian who doesn't like books?
Simon knows this. I don't know why he gave me the key. I really don't deserve it, and I don't think that I'm like the least logical person to do such a thing to.
Theodus gives a quick yawn. Well, Siren has never done anything without purpose. He seems to have a great deal of foresight, to be honest. So if he gave you this position, he clearly intends something for you. Similar to what he did with Douglas when he imparted the watch to him in his will. That is interesting.
I broke the watch
Pardon?
when we saw the watch last time. I grabbed it, and then when I didn't use it, and someone jumped on me, and it fell and it broke.
Oh, it's quite alright now, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
That's good.
I think the watch still works. Well, we were all acting under the presumption it still worked, and the several the former mentor of Siren seemed to be confident it still worked.
That's good to hear, because I was kind of worried that I broke something.
No, that's quite all right, to my knowledge. And I'm quite good at time, so my word is law.
Maybe you could teach me more about time then.
Well, you seem about as good at it as I am. I'm more of a snap my fingers, throw the fireball the thing sort of person, which just contrasts with my rather scholarly nature, but part of a cunning ruse, I suppose.
Perhaps you could teach me more about, like, not what you can do, but why and how. I don't know. I need to learn more about, like, a theory behind the things we could do.
Well, I'd be happy to teach you as long as you'd be willing to help me in return. Well, I'd be happy to teach you even without that, but
As I said, I don't mind helping you with the vampire thing or with other stuff as long as it doesn't hurt, like
well,
the rest of us.
excellent. I've got a book, buddy.
Because I really don't want to hurt anyone anymore. I'm kind of done with that. I hate it. It's not
Uh,
who I am.
I mean, most of us prefer not to. I mean, you seem quite good at not doing that. It seems you're only able to hurt people when you try really hard to go out of your way to do so. You seem very much the empathic, comforting healer type, to be honest. You seem like you'd be able to do a great deal of good for people.
I don't believe anyone really thinks that.
Well, if that is the case, prove them wrong.
I mean, who says they're wrong? If you look at all the shit I caused, I killed Simon and I hurt Lottie, and you know, apparently also, what's her name, kid? I don't even remember. I don't even know what she's talking about. Like Lottie said that she said that when I touch her it hurts, and I I never touched her as far as I know. So how could she know,
Who?
kid?
Kit? Oh yeah, apparently she's antimatter. She's like the opposite of you, and I mean, well, about as dumb if she's making deals with infernal entities.
As dumb as I am?
I'm joking.
Oh.
She is an idiot, though.
I'm sorry, I'm not, I'm not full 100% today.
No, I'm surprised no one's gone out of their way to actually just heal you already and just bolster your immune system through magic. That seems like it would just make life so much easier for everybody involved, and you wouldn't have to just sit here for 24 hours.
I mean, Lottie kind of suggested it, but she also was unsure if that would give the same result as me just getting them naturally. So I guess that's just perhaps a better way to go about it. And it's a fitting punishment.
I really think it's a punishment more than it is an annoying coincidence.
It's not a coincidence. I never got sick before. Ever.
No, no, that's what I mean. You got sick because your thingy-mabob was removed from you, but it's not a punishment more than it is just a side effect of you losing your thingy-mabob. I also feel somewhat uncomfortable calling it a thingy-mabob. Does this thing have a term?
People have mostly referred to it as spark of life, I believe.
Okay, we'll refer to it as your spark from now on. That sounds much
Like
more fitting and far more romantic.
it basically my life energy like is a bit stronger than most normally. Not now though. Like if you look at me with life sight on and then you see that I'm more bright than others. Well, I don't think that's that now.
Hmm. Well, as I said, you'll probably have it back in a few months. I'm working on it, and we're working on it. So, just a bit of time.
If I'm really kind.
I mean, I'm just stating what we're all doing.
I know. I don't really know how to thank all of you for doing that.
Just be you.
I'm not quite sure if that's a good thing right now.
Well, it is neither good nor bad. But if nothing else, you'll have grown. I think that will be a good thing.
I, I guess.
Usually, my form of growing has resulted in me going to very dark places with my mind and then getting traumatized because my mind entered some sort of alternate dimension slash hell. That was not a good form of growing. That was pretty bad. Although it was good because I learned a lot. So he kind of like weighs up with his hands, like, take some, you lose some, I suppose. I should really get better at mine so that doesn't happen as often.
I hope so. I hope you'll get better, and I'll always. I'm here to help you if you need help.
Hmm. All right, thank you. The Monkey King made a comment to me when I encountered one of those things that fear isn't there to be ignored more than it is there to be overcome, and I need to overcome it. The question is, this is not a regular fear. It is something that has scarred my mind and won't leave it. It's closer to an infection than anything else.
Lonnie is very good at the mind thing. If you need help with that.
I don't know. I feel as if it was just removed from me, then I'd be cheating myself. If nothing else, I should grow my own mind personally and overcome it that way. I feel that may perhaps be more fitting. But then again, with the world on the line, can I afford to be choosy?
I mean, you need to do what you need to do. And you need to look at yourself and not just the world. Like, you are your own world, in a way. And if you don't help yourself, you can't help the world.
Very true. Although I've always felt like I've trended more towards helping myself and helping the world. I've only ever really wanted to learn things. I've never really wanted to rule the world or anything like that. I mean, if you have power, use it, but
I would want to rule the world. Can't
wait,
imagine
you would
that
or you
would be
wouldn't?
wouldn't not.
Okay.
I don't see how. I think everybody should be making their own decisions. If you rule the world, and that is a bad thing.
Mm. Well, you look like you could use a nap.
Yeah.
Is she like sitting up or something? Because if not, I should. The Theodus would have probably got her to lay down.
She's probably like, half curled up on the couch.
Okay.
She's definitely wrapped up in a couple of blankets. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of sleepy. But, uh,
Oh, one moment.
uh, okay.
Um. What he's going to do is let's see, what would he have? He got you. He visited the pharmacist to get some meds, but I don't think he has anything else. Um, but what he does is that he kind of gets out like about 5 tissues, so just kind of folded on top of each other, like he's just taken a bunch of tissues out of a tissue packet. Then he's just going to, and I'm gonna have him roll for this. He's gonna use his instruments. He's gonna use eye contact in his voice. He's just gonna whisper an incantation into the Latin incantation, ecclesiastical Latin to be specific, under the tissues, and he's going to apply his matter 2 and forces 2 to make the basically chill the tissues, so you get free ice packs.
Aww.
How does difficulty work here? Would this be considered vulgar or coincidental? I think it
I
would be
mean,
vulgar. But it's in a chantry that affects it,
yeah,
I think.
you're in a chantry, and it's probably. I mean, you don't necessarily see the effects immediately.
No, it isn't something that's actually apparent until it could just be
Yeah.
shunned up as these were like up against an ice pack or in a fridge or something. Like it's not a visible effect. It's not showy at all.
No.
It basically just refrigerates the particles of the tissues effectively. Um, so I'm just going to roll. Well, I guess 3 successes. So
Aww.
he can, I suppose, he can apply duration to it. if that's how that works. He's casting it as a spell, so I'm not entirely sure. It's not a ritual, so I'm not sure how you apply duration. If not, I'll just have him roll a second time because it's fine. So, boo! Yay! So you get 6 successes on making you ice pack tissues. And he'll just he'll just put them on you, and we'll just say he'll just put one like on your forehead and like put the other 2 in like your hands and just say should last you a week, I hope. Don't blow on them. They're makeshift ice packs. Also, I wanted to show off a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, thank you. That feels good.
I'd hope so. I could refrigerate the room, but I feel like that would go very badly after the fact, and also not that everyone outside of you would appreciate that.
Oh, I don't think they would really like that.
Suppose you'll just have to make do with the ice packs, but have a nice nap.
That's really kind of you. Thank you.
Anytime. And yeah, he'll leave her the ice packs and blankies, and just kind of pat you on the kind of ruffle your head and then leave you. And you can kind of hear him. His cane taps unceremoniously as he walks out. Darcy, I think Darcy has met Theodus before, but it is again his limp is very pronounced. Like he clearly has issues with his legs. Like he can walk normally with like a cane, or at least go at walking speed with a cane, but it's like the way he walks is very much like a hobble. He takes pains to stand up straight because he doesn't want to end up with a hunchback. Like you figure, like he's like one of those people where he's like, I'm not turning out like a hunchback when I'm older. No. This is not the Notre Dame. So yeah, and he'll hobble on his way out and leave you. And before he walks out, he'll just give you a small wave and just go night night.
I guess she's probably already asleep by then.
No. And yeah, he'll leave a be and close the door as quietly as he can. Probably even using forces to make it silent. Temporarily.
Aww.
And he will go. And we can end the scene there. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watcher. Well, players for playing, because I'm a player too. So I'm going to fan myself. That's right. And watchers watching, we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.